In today's episode, we're going to take a look at black onyx. I offer this in a wide variety of different options. You can see here there's a number of shapes and sizes. These largest ones across the top are pendants. These smaller cabochon sizes at the bottom are used for a wide variety of things, including pendants, where they're set in bezels of different shapes and sizes, but they're also used in earrings and bracelets and keychains and bookmarks and pretty much you name it. These are used kind of across the board in the different things I make. Onyx itself is a form of silicate chalcedony, as is agate. The difference is that onyx is banded in a parallel banding form, whereas agate is banded in a much more chaotic banding form. Now you can't actually see any of the banding in black onyx, as you'll notice here. Although onyx does come in a wide range of colors, and black is one of the natural colors of onyx, most of the examples of black onyx that are commercially available are dyed versions of onyx, so that it has enhanced the black and has covered up any other colors, but that means you also can't see the banding. But given that it is a silicate chalcedony, just like agate, it has similar properties to agate in that it is very shiny. It polishes to that really high gloss. It is a very hard stone. It also breaks in a very fragile fashion, in the sense that you get a lot of very tiny pieces, just like I do with agate. And those tiny pieces can be very, very sharp. So it's not unusual for me to cut myself in trying to work with the tiny pieces that come out of this. But one of the characteristic features of onyx is that it breaks in what is called a conchoidal fracture. And what it means by conchoidal is it tends to break in curved pieces that are kind of parallel curves like you would see in a mussel shell. So we are going to take one of these and break it and see if we can get some good examples of a conchoidal fracture for you to see what that looks like. So I started with the almond-shaped pendant, and as I normally do, I turned it with the rounded side down so that I put the chisel against the flat back, hit that with a hammer to break it. And this is what I got, and I actually have it on the paper I broke it on just because there are so many little pieces, and I wanted you to get a feel for just how many of these there are. As I mentioned, these tend to be extraordinarily pointy and sharp, these little pieces here. And it can be very difficult, even these pieces that are large enough to pick up can be very difficult to figure out where they all go. So that's why you'll frequently see areas of larger repair in these, because I can't always get all the pieces back in. Now, of these large pieces that are easy to identify, you can tell these two go together. There's significantly more missing here out of the back than the front, but as I mentioned before in that conchoidal fracture, it's this here. See how it has sort of the banded, rounded edge to the way it broke. And this is very, very typical in black onyx. And you can see a bit of it here on the side too, that very rounded, banded look. These pieces that go in it, many of them also have the same curvature. So that's what I was referring to earlier about kind of the concentric breaking like that. I've heard it described as being like a mussel shell. It's all of those pieces breaking in that same curved aspect can go together. So in this one, I might be able to get a few of these pieces in here, but for the most part, we'll have a slightly larger area of fill here, a couple places on the front where you can see that there's some missing bits, and then we'll have a significant area fracture going down through this. Now, one of the other things with it being a conchoidal fracture of this kind is it's typically at an angle compared to the stone itself, which means that where the placement and sometimes even the shape of the fracture on the front is going to be different than what you see on the back, simply because it doesn't break straight through the stone. It's going at kind of a wedge-like angle, which gives us two different things. So let's work on putting this back together and we'll see what we get in the end. And And after the repair, this is what we get. You can see the areas where there were lots of small pieces out give us the larger repair areas. Also on the back, again, that gives us the curving, as well as the fact that you can see that the front side has the repair slightly farther this way compared to the back side, since it's at an angle through the stone. And here are a variety of other black onyx items that I have in my current inventory, just to show you the wide range of possibilities. Again, these are all different shapes and sizes, but over and over you see similar patterns in the fractures, both with the curves, even when it's a very simple break, or in some of these more complex breaks, you can see those bandings of fracture where you get wedge-shaped or almost parallel band fractures in the stone. So overall, black onyx gives me some of the most beautiful pieces I think that I make, both with the complex patterns I get, but also with that gold shining against the black stone. It's quite a look. So to see any of these or any of the other pieces available in the current inventory, please visit akintsugi.life.com. Thanks for watching.